Hey everyone, I am here with Runi following the Cloud9 win over Evil Geniuses to open VCT Americas for their season. First off, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. I just have to ask you kind of how are you feeling just after that victory, because there was a lot of expectations against you.
Right. So I think that our expectations were very low. And it should be, because we've only been practicing for about a week and a half compared to all these teams that have been playing together for years, especially with their core and their IGLs. And coming in as an IGL on a team where I didn't play with them until a week and a half ago, our expectations were very low. Although I think that the core of the team and then the new additions our team is very strong. So hopefully that proved it today. We are just going to keep improving throughout the season with more and more practice, because we don't really have too much right now. So hopefully the fans and everyone sees that, we're not going to just be that team that everyone thinks we're going to be.
When did you find out that you had joined C9? Well, first, what was your reaction to finding that you were going to be on Cloud9? And then I guess, what was the preparation like immediately for you? Was it just you had 3 weeks with the team, 2 weeks? What was that like?
So when I found out I was going to join, I was obviously very excited. Being on a franchise team, playing at the top level against international teams is very exciting. I didn't really know until everyone else knew. So I saw it on Twitter before I even heard anything, really. We had played trials prior and things were going well, so I thought very highly of me making the spot. So when I did make it, I was told like 2 weeks ago from now, and we had to fly out and move everyone out, so we didn't have as many days of practice as we would have liked, especially recently as well. So with what the practice we have had, we're very happy with how it went today.
So you only had 2 weeks to really prepare for everything. So first, you come into this team, you're playing with players that have a lot of experience at that tier 1 level, a lot of veteran players on that team. Coming in as the in-game leader, what was that adjustment like, kind of coming into an already built system and then being like, hey, I'm going to be the leader, at least in the game?
Right. So very luckily with this team, they were very open to having a new IGL. They don't give me any, backlash to anything that I suggest or anything, and I'm actually given a lot of free reign on what I want to do and what we want to do. So having that is very cool to see, these veteran players allowing the new guy to, make adjustments to things and not only adjust to it, but believe in it as well. And in terms of calling, they make it very, very easy for me, considering they all have a lot of experience. Their mid-rounding, their ideas and adjustments in game are very smart, and it just makes my job that much easier.
What are things that you look for as an IGL in some of these situations that makes it a lot easier for you? Is it them feeding you information constantly, or are you someone that just likes a direct form of communication to you? What are things as an IGL that you find make it a lot easier to you compared to making it very difficult?
Right. So in game, they can tell me tendencies of what the enemy is doing. So if they're flashing here and doing this, and they're pushing with it, or they're faking it, so they're very good at calling out what they are doing and if they're actually doing anything with it and how many people are there. And then they also have the times where they'll just make their own call off of it if they think that they can make a strong enough call to have the ultimate decision of that round. So I'm not always the ultimate decision. If they see something that's open, they can say that, and I believe that's how any team should be playing, and I'm sure that's how it is. But these guys are all so talented and experienced that they're very good at making those calls.
I want to ask you about something that I had spoke to with MCE in the preseason, where he was talking about how when he was looking at players, he kind of wants to look for 10 different types of qualities between like work ethic, raw talent, aim, mentality, or mindset. When you found out you were on the team, did he talk to you about the qualities that he really liked about you and maybe some of the improvements that you needed to make in your game?
Not specifically to those, but he's always on us and making sure we're accountable for everything that we're doing. And if something is wrong, he's very easily able to point it out, and he's not afraid to, make sure the player knows what's going wrong. He won't be too friendly, make sure that, he gets the job done. I've never had a coach like that where you don't want to mess with him. Like, he's going to make sure that everything goes right, and if it doesn't, then that's his job. So he's very smart that he keeps everyone in check of what they need to be doing.
Yeah, something that I remember that he did with the guard when I spoke to Trent before was that he kind of kept a list of notes that the player can improve on, and then you would review it at the end of the day. Is that something that he does with you, or what's your relationship on a one-on-one setting like that?
Right. So he has notes for everyone individually from scrims of that day, and we go over them in review after practice. With me specifically, we wake up a couple hours earlier than everyone else just to get on early and, theory craft and make some things up together or watch matches and get ideas of stuff. So me and him are always up earlier than everyone else just to make sure that we're putting in that, extra effort, especially since we've only had so much time.
Mm-hmm. I just have a few more questions for you, but I want to ask, with the community perception being so low for this Cloud9 lineup, was that something that motivated you to be like, no, I'm gonna shut them up, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna show them that we're not just this team that's gonna get 10th or 9th like that?
Right. We're all very realistic with our expectations, and we were very confident going into this match specifically, although our next couple matches are very strong opponents, and we know that our first couple matches of the split are going to be rough, and as we get more and more practice through the split and play easier teams in the split, there's a good chance that we can qualify for Tokyo. But after today's win and showing only 2 maps as a low tier team compared to these other people in the community perspective, I think that is very good for us, especially going into Loud next week. They showed 3 maps today. They showed more. They also went deeper into their maps, so they had to show more and more stuff. So I think that, with this win, expectations will change a little bit, and we're no longer Cloud0-9 and, maybe Cloud9-0.
Ooh. So, any closing remarks, anything you want to add before we close out this interview then?
Just thank you to all the fans, thank you to our sponsors and, my teammates specifically. They've been very welcoming to everything, especially the fans as well. Support on social media and everything, our sponsors as well, have been helping us make this transition very easy, and the results showed. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Congratulations on the win.